Hey everyone, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and do a few reality shows on the side. And I have to say that my favorite day of the week might possibly be Wednesdays, because that's when we talk Dancing for Relevancy, aka Dancing with the Stars. Um, it might be my favorite show on television right now, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm really excited about today. But before we get to that, I do want to say this is a minor programming note. This is the last time that I'll be in Vegas for the next couple weeks. Starting tomorrow, I'll be in Palm Springs, attending the beautiful White Party, Palm Springs. This is my 12th year going to White Party. So I actually, for those of you that know my best friend Brandon Baker, I actually met Brandon Baker on my very first White Party in 2005. True story. We were at a pool party that was actually being held at the water park at Wet n Wild, and I met Brandon. So, little fun fact about Angel Benton. Okay. And you know what's funny? Listen, I know that I come back and I always bitch about shit about White Party, and I always say, oh, the music's, was horrible this year, and they didn't have any performers, and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I gotta say, compared to the Fire Festival, have you read about that shit show? Wow. White Party is fucking 5 stars compared to Fire Festival. So I give Jeffrey Sanger credit because, he's been around for quite some time, so, kudos to him. All right, so anyways, whatever. They actually have announced all kinds of acts that are performing this year, and it looks like they've made genuine improvement in all across the board. So I'm curious to see how this White Party will go. It should be great. I mean, I always have a good time because I love Palm Springs. I fucking love when I was not little, when I was like in my 20s, half a life ago, and I would go out to Palm Springs, I would be like, God, why does anyone want to live here? It's so boring. Oh my God, but I wouldn't give for boring. I would love to just live in the desert and the beautiful mountains and scenery, and I would just love that. And a relaxed way of life, that would be great. Because there are times when being on this rat race wheel is awful. I hate it. But what can you do, right? Okay. I didn't mean to get all maudlin on you. Jesus Christ, I can't believe, who was that? Okay, moving on. Dancing for Relevancy. So I love Dancing for Relevancy. First of all, how is it that show has been on the air for at least 10 years? No, over 10 years now, because last year was the 10th anniversary, right? I mean, last season. And this is the first time that Mandy Moore has ever been a judge on the show. What? What? Ever? She only had to, I don't know, win an Oscar first. But they'll let Redfoo be a guest judge. I'm done. I can't. But and you know what? Here's something that's interesting about Mandy Moore. And if you didn't get to see the show, obviously I'm not talking about the singer Mandy Moore, who's now on This Is Us. I'm talking about the choreographer Mandy Moore. They get mixed up for each other all the time. Actually, you know what I really would have loved? I would have loved it if the singer Mandy Moore and the choreographer Mandy Moore were guest judges, because then America would see, yeah, they're different people, babe. So anyways, her first of all, she wasn't either overly effusive, and she also wasn't very too strict either. She struck just the right balance, and her notes were even better than Len's and Carrie Ann. I mean, and Bruno also, Bruno has some good notes too, but, it gets caught up in the flair of Bruno and is standing up all the time. But she gave really good notes, really good constructive criticism to every single couple. It was great. I loved it. And like for Normani and Val, they got a perfect score, so they were immune from being eliminated, and they didn't have to do the dance off. And she was like, you've grown so much, and if I just watched you from the waist down, your legs are so strong now compared to how you were when you started. And because she works with these people every single week doing their opening numbers. So I think it's great. I I mean, I hate to say it, but I kind of like her a little bit better than Julianne. I'm not gonna, you know, I love Julianne, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think Mandy Moore was on point with a lot of her critiquing. Oh my God. Okay, so for the dance off, I gotta talk about this. The dance off they put. Oh, so who went home? Wait, before we go, let's just tell you who went home right away. So Nick and Peta finally went home, and Nancy and Artem. God damn it! Now, I mean, there goes my top four again. So the top four are Simone and Sasha, which we knew, Normani and Val, which we knew, Rashad and Emma, which we knew. I personally think the top two will actually be Normani and Rashad. I really do. I think Simone is good, but I don't know if she'll make it to the top two. But you never know, though. I mean, hell, shit. Erica, Heather, and Nancy all went home one week right after the other. So who fucking knows? It's all up to America, really. But so they had the way that it worked was if you got a certain amount of points, whoever got the most points could pick who they want to go against, and then whoever they picked to go against would choose what style of dance. And the style of dance that they all had to choose from was cha-cha, jive, and rumba. Jive is very difficult because there's a lot of quick movements all in that piece of music. Rumba is very difficult for men because it's very much all about your hip action and keeping your hips swaying, you know? And with rumba, no one wanted rumba, right? So that was given to the final couple, who was Bonner and Sharna versus Nick and Peta. Well, at first I was thinking, oh, real good. That's strategic. Give the guy with a metal hip rumba, which is all about your hips. Real good, right? But you know what? I give Mr. Bonner credit because he did great. He beat Nick. Like, not just with the dance-off, but just in general, you know? That is awesome. So, kudos to you, Nick, as well. Good job. Not Nick. Bye, Nick. Bonner. Good job, Bonner. And good job, Sharna. So, very good, both of them. I mean, they did do a Western number at the beginning of the show that was a little hokey. I know, it's hard. How can you be hokey on a ballroom dancing competition show? I mean, really? But that is how cheesy it was. It was the hokey even then, right? But it was still cute. I didn't like the theme tonight or Monday night. I know I watched the show on Monday, but I don't really get to talk about it until Wednesday, so that's why Wednesday is my favorite night. Anyways, so the theme was you got a different genre of movie, and then you had to do it then you had a specific style of dance that you had to do, and you had to evoke memories of that style of music. Some did very well, like Simone and Sasha did a great Charleston, and they were able to throw a shit ton of tricks in there because it's one of the few dances where you can do lifts, right? So Carrie Ann couldn't take off any of her points for that. She's a total lift police. But, like, others, not that great. Like Butter and Sharna. I'm sorry, I didn't think that was that great. Normani and Val, excellent. David and Nick and Peta. I didn't think he was that good this week. I thought he was much better last week, to be honest with you, because I thought last week he was all his steps. He didn't make any mistakes with his steps. So this week I thought it was a little flat. I thought Nancy did a great job. I thought Nancy had finally come out of her shell. And she probably had. Right the minute she comes out of her shell, they're like, bye, girl. Damn. America is savage as fuck. Okay. And David and Lindsay, they had a cute package that they showed before. It was really funny. But their routine, it was fun. But there was a lot of technical content that was missing from that routine. But they did have a good time. So I thought that next week would be the last week and it would be the 4 finalists. But apparently it's not. There's one more week after that. So I guess only 3 people get to do the freestyle this season. So next week they're doing the trio dance. Thank God, because I was like, when are they going to get to the fucking trio? I swear to God, if they took out the trio for this movie bullshit or the most important year of my life, which is so stupid. I'm sorry, I hate that theme. You know, I would be really pissed off, but they didn't. They left it in there. I love the trio. That's one of my favorite things I look forward to every year as well. So, or every 6 months, every season. So we're gonna see that next week, and then is the last two episodes. It's the final. So we'll see how that goes. So next week's the semifinals. So thank you all for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Dancing for Relevancy to talk Dancing for Relevancy, or you can also hashtag Below Deck Med, because I'm now starting to do Below Deck Med starting tomorrow. Oh my God, and I've got to talk about this. It will tie into Below Deck Med, but on Watch What Happens Live last night, that was a shit show of epic proportions, and it had to do with Hannah and Bobby from Below Deck Med, and it was insane. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow. And feel free to hit subscribe on that little YouTube channel. Okay, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you in Palm Springs. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.